So another way to do a simple model of a generator, you have Faraday's law. So EMF is equal to the rate at which magnetic flux is changing. I'm not worried about the N here, because it's just one single loop. So the magnetic field, sorry, the magnetic flux is, so again, flux is equal to the magnetic field times the area, perpendicular area. So the area of this is going to be your length, specifically the length of this wire, times x. That's the area. So you get this expression here for magnetic flux. And then if we just look at this component changing, or that dimension changing, this is just velocity. So we can find the induced EMF. This is the same equation that we got from the other way we did it, with the magnetic force being equal to the electric force with the electric field. And then with Ohm's law, get an induced current. Give that one a shot. Tell your neighbor what you think. Please talk in English. Correct answer is like, this is straight up multiple choice level problem. Nothing? You're not allowed to get senioritis yet. Like, this is, you can take your foot off the gas after the AP test. But this is like, don't blow it now. Thumbs up when you have an answer. Rough commentary. Have a conversation. This will sort of help you. This isn't like a direct revelation. What do you say? E. Yeah, the area is fixed, like 0.004, and then the rate of change of magnetic field. Slope of that is 50. You lock in. All right. Okay. So this is new stuff. So what we have, but we're going to start with a review. Okay. So what we have is a ring, a wire ring. It's in a magnetic field, and that magnetic field is going to be increasing. So flux is going into the page, change in flux is going into the page. The magnetic field that's created by induced current is in opposition to this change in flux. So we have current going around this way. Okay, meaning that inside this wire, there's an electric field motivating, forcing the protons to flow this way, motivating electrons to flow this way in the opposite direction of the electric field. Everybody good with that? Okay. Does that make sense why there's an electric field? Okay. So, turns out that you can create an electric field not only with a charged object, but you can also create an electric field with a changing magnetic field. Okay, which is directed in such a way based upon Lenz's law. Okay, except there is no voltage, it's just using the same right-hand rule technique. Okay, change in flux is going this way, magnetic field is in opposition to that, so you have an electric field going in this direction. Okay, which is a crazy thought that we're just creating an electric field with no charge. Okay, we don't even need a piece of metal in there. It's just creates its own electric field. Okay, so if I have this solenoid, I've got current going this way. So I've got magnetic field going this way. Okay, if the current is increasing, so is this magnetic field. So the change in flux is going this way. Good with that? Okay. So there is because of that, there's an induced electric field that is in opposite with your thumb in opposition to the magnetic field that's increasing. So there's an electric field going this way. You good with that? Okay. So, so this is our, prior to this, we're all right with this. This voltage is equal to electric field times distance is the algebra way to say that. Okay with that? What we're doing here is we're doing induced EMF is equal to, this is our line integral complete loop. Okay. That's the only way we're like kind of modifying that, is the complete loop. And then we have Faraday's law that says the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay. So, this, the line integral going in a circle, some distance r, this, just like Ampere's law, is just the circumference, that circular path. Okay. And we're assuming that the electric field is the same that certain distance away, so this can be taken out of the integral. That's a constant. Okay. And then the area, that's this thing, pi r squared. And then we're just looking at the rate at which your magnetic field is changing. Okay. So the strength of that field when we take this, so we get this whole thing. So we get E 2 pi r is equal to pi r squared, the rate of change of the magnetic field. That's where that comes from. Good there? Okay. So just taking us through that same process again. You have an increasing current, creates an increasing magnetic field. You have a changing magnetic field that induces an electric field that's in opposition to that change in flux. To figure out the magnitude, we're using Faraday's law. The EMF induced is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux. And this idea that voltage is equal to electric field times the distance. It's a line integral. Okay. So it's kind of an update of Faraday's law. And the negative sign is with the opposition to. So this is This is not new, but making this associated with this, that line integral. I can't remember how they put it on the equation sheet, Faraday's law, but so this is a crazy idea that you have a changing magnetic field creates a changing, or creates an electric field. Maxwell thought, you know what? I wonder if the reverse is true. I wonder if you have a changing electric field, does that induce a magnetic field? So he did some experiments, and guess what? His hunch was right. So if you have a changing electric field and you have the same effect. So you got an electric field that's increasing, has an electric field that's I'll get back to you on that one. Anyway, so don't worry about the technicalities of which direction it goes. Here's the thing. If you have a changing magnetic field, that induces or creates a changing electric field. So a changing electric field induces a changing magnetic field. And a change in electric field induces a change in magnetic field. This is where electromagnetic waves come from and how they can propagate through space without a medium. They're self-perpetuating. Okay? So when I was in your shoes, I always thought electric fields were made up mathematical things that helps us like deal with charges and stuff like that. And it's just a fabricated idea. That's stupid. It doesn't actually exist. A force exists, but electric field, like what? The promise of a force? That's just an abstract idea. Well, that's not abstract. You can pass information along with just electric and magnetic fields, and that's how everything wireless works. Is with electromagnetic waves. Cool that. So they're a thing. They don't have any mass, but they're a thing. Okay, and he discovered also that the speed of light is equal to 1 over the square root of permittivity of free space times the permeability of free space. Crazy. Cool that. All right, give that one a shot. Thumbs up when you have a guess. Have a conversation. Correct answer is B. Beautiful babies. Thumbs up when you have a guess. Tell your neighbor. Without using mental telepathy. Correct answer is A. I like it. To the left. What about point B? Everybody go with up? Correct answer is E. There is no radius in that expression. You good with that? Tell your neighbor. Correct answer is B. Bountiful buffaloes. Have a conversation. What are we thinking? Yeah. Yeah, because it's uniform. So I'll give you domestic dingoes. Tell your neighbor. Very good with C. Okay. Have a conversation. Correct answer is E. Because there's no magnetic field outside of the solenoid. Good with that. Tell your neighbor. Correct answer is got 1 vote for B. Got 1 vote for C. Yeah, a lot of people who don't want to have an emotional experience. Correct answer is B. You're evaluating at that location. Does that make sense? Because you want to know the electric field at this location, not at that location.
The last one was the one before that.
Was capital, because that's where the magnetic field stops. Good question. Correct answer is B. And this is a perfect free response question. Parts A, B, C, D. Then graph it. Tell your neighbor. So this is the solenoid with current going around it. That's what this is. The electron's located outside the solenoid.
No, but there's no.
Correct answer is an electron, because it's negatively charged, is going to be forced in the opposite direction of the electric field, which does exist because we just said it did. Remember that? Even though the magnetic field isn't out there, because it's changing, it induces an electric field outside of the solenoid. There's no magnetic field ideally outside of a solenoid. Okay, but there is an electric field if you're changing it, and that's going to be forced D to the left. You all right with that? All right, so we can use this idea to induce a current outside of this solenoid. Okay, so even though there's no magnetic field out of this, the fact that that's changing can induce, it creates an electric field which causes current to go. Good with that? I think that's a good place to stop. Camden.
When it starts creating current, what happens to the magnetic field inside of the solenoid?
Because of this guy?
Yeah, the loop
the
with
net,
the current in it is going to create its own.
right, the net magnetic field is going to get weaker.
Is that going to affect the current as well?
You better believe it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So remember, you got reading and free response due on Tuesday. Monday will be a work day. So prom, be safe, have fun, be wise.